students, we come to the last chapter or the last unit of our CSS3 syllabus, which is resume and curriculum vitae writing. When you are appearing for a job interview or when you have a desire to work, a resume or a CV is very important. It reflects your personality. It is written communication in which it shows your personality, though you are not visible to the prospective employer. So this should be a perfect display of you. So, and what is a resume and what is a curriculum vitae, we will go in detail. What is a resume? A resume, as you can see, it is pronounced as resume. Resume is derived from a Latin and a French word, which means summary or synopsis. Summary or synopsis means, in brief, your life from your childhood to the present moment. What are your achievements, what kind of a person you are, your interests, your educational qualification, your parents, all this information which is included is your resume. That is why it is, as I told you, it is derived from the French and Latin term, and it means synopsis or summary. Now we come to the next word, which is curriculum vitae, generally referred to as CV. What is a curriculum vitae? Curriculum vitae is derived from the Latin. It means course of life. Your course of life. It is a detailed description of your life till the present moment. Your achievements, your education, everything in detail. Not much can be included in your CV about your personal life. Likewise for the resume also, just a brief indication will be enough. Okay. And one thing that you must remember is a resume is always tailored according to the job you are applying for. It's not like you prepare a resume and apply it for all the jobs that you are intending to work or intending to do. So according to the job, you have to tailor your resume. Means you have to make alterations. Of course, the basic things like your name, your date of birth, your educational qualifications, these don't make any difference. Okay. First we will deal with resume, and then we will go into curriculum vitae, and thereafter we will go into a covering letter or an application letter. Okay. Now I have given the format for writing a basic resume. Before we start writing a resume, we have to keep certain things in mind. First, use a good quality paper when you are writing your resume or when you are getting it printed or typed. Then see that there is enough white space on the white paper, and not only that, the font size that you choose should be could be easily read by your employee. That is a good font size of your letters. Don't go for a stylish font which is not legible to the reader. And see, as you can see on the board, see that there is plenty of white space, and divide your content into subheadings, into sections. Not only that, as I told you, there should not be any grammatical or spelling mistakes, because it will show you in poor light if your resume is full of mistakes. And basically, people treat resume and a CV or a curriculum vitae as similar, with a very slight difference. A resume is usually, most of the time, it is one page only. It extends only to a proper A4 size sheet. Whereas a curriculum vitae may extend into 2 or 3 pages, not more than that, because it will become very elaborate. People don't have the time to read such elaborate curriculum vitae. So keep your resume short, keep it simple, keep it straight. Remember the 3 S's. Keep it short, keep it simple, keep it straight. It should cover all the content. It should be very easily understood, simple, and it should be straight to the point. No unnecessary details are included in your resume. That reflects your personality as what kind of a professional you are. Clear? So quality of paper should be good, the font size should be good, the background should be good, and your resume should be error free, and use action verbs to describe your abilities or your skills. Why do we write a resume? To highlight our skills or achievements or our abilities to the employer so that they may hire us, isn't it? So we must keep that point in view, and as I told you, according to the job requirement, you should tailor your resume, make alterations here and there. Okay, now the basic resume, I am just giving it to you. Please remember it as it is, so that when you are writing the exam, you can go point by point and without missing out any detail, you can fill the resume. First thing, right hand side corner is your photo. Beneath the photo, under the photo, below the photo, you give your name. M. Aishwarya, for example. Email ID, then the contact number can be given. And I told you, there is no hard and fast rule that a resume should be in this manner, written in this manner, in this word, so on and so forth. Make it creative, but don't go overboard. Okay, make it creative to the reader. Interesting, your resume should be interesting to the reader. And this is on the right side. Leave a lines gap, and to the left side of your page, you write your career objective. What is a career objective? What is your aim or your purpose in joining their company, or what is your aim? You can describe it in a few, 2 or 3 sentences here. Career objective. Interested to work in a company which provides me enough scope to develop my technical skills, because I am an engineer. That is why I am using that word. So that is just an example. Okay, so that is a career objective. After that, work experience. This is not for freshers. Freshers don't have any work experience, but it is a resume format. That's why I am giving you this information. Work experience means the company you worked for, the years, from which year to which year did you work in that company? What was the position held by you in that company? What were your duties or your responsibilities in that particular company also should be mentioned here for work experience. So your the company that you worked for, the years that you worked from 2010 to 2020, you worked in so and so company as a sales manager, whatever it be, that you have to mention here. Then after that, you go for educational qualification. Suppose the applicant or the writer of the resume is a fresher, has no work experience, you can skip this part. Instead, you can substitute that with something else, which I will tell you later. Coming to educational qualifications, you mention it in reverse chronological order. What is a reverse chronological order? Means from the latest to the past. Latest means you have done your graduation, for example. So a BSc degree or a BCom degree or a BA degree. You mention that first. Then before that, you have done your intermediate. You mention that. Before intermediate, your SSC, 10th class. You write it in that order. Okay? If you have done your PG, UG, intermediate and your 10th. In the educational qualifications, there are 2 ways of writing your educational qualification. One is the tabular form. In a table, you can construct a table and display the information. Another way of representing your educational qualifications is in the form of bullet points. I will explain that to you in detail. Bullet points means you can put a bullet point and write graduation, a Bachelor of Science degree in computers in the year 2018 to 2021, and Not only that, when you're writing in the tabular form, you must mention the name of the college, the name of the university or the board of exam, and also the years that you have passed out in, and the percentage that you got. So these are 4 things that you have to keep in mind when you are writing your educational qualification. After I finish with this, I will display that to you. I will show that to you in detail. Okay? Now, as I told you earlier, you remember that I told you that if you don't have work experience, then what will you do? You are a fresher. That time, under educational qualifications, you can write. And not only educational qualification, you can write academic qualifications also. No problem. Academic qualifications you can write here as a subheading. You don't want to be routine, so you can use those words. Under educational qualifications, you can write projects. In college, in the final year of your college or in your college, you might have undertaken some project. Under what capacity or how successfully were you able to complete the project? That can be mentioned. Or what was your project about? That can be mentioned after educational qualification, because you don't have work experience. Understood? Next, we go to special skills. Special skills means you know something more than what is regularly taught in the colleges or in the university. Perhaps you have taken up some extra computer course. You have learned some extra languages or programs in computers. Perhaps you can say that I have learned C++ or Python or something like that. You can mention here. In this, you can also mention the languages that you know. If you know German, French, Tamil, Hindi, all the languages that you know can be mentioned here as a special skill. Apart from that, if you know typing, you can mention your typing skills and your speed also. How many words per minute can be mentioned here as a special skill. If you know shorthand, that also, which grade were you, that you can mention here. So any other ability than the regular, that can be mentioned here. And you can highlight it by changing the font or by making it bold. Okay? Now we go to the next one. Achievements. Where in your college, if you have won any essay competition, elocution competition, those kind of competition in your colleges or in your national level, as a state level, you were a hockey player, you were a badminton player, sports activities, all that can be mentioned here as your achievements, or you can put the subheading accolades and awards, for which you have awards and which you have proof to show. Proof in the sense that maybe you have some certificates to prove that you have won state level hockey championship, you were a player for so and so team in the year so and so. Along with the years, you have to mention whether you were the winner or the runner-up. If you don't have any achievement as such, suppose, then perhaps you have participated in some essay competition or painting competition, some activity, that also can be mentioned here. Okay? Now, next section is hobbies, or you can also name that as interests. Hobbies or interests, give some interesting hobbies like music, painting, pottery, so on and so forth. That you can mention as hobbies. And another thing that I would like to remind you is that in achievements and awards, you should not mention the lemon and spoon race that you won in school, not those. Okay, something worth mentioning. You can think, you know. Okay, coming to after hobbies and interests, we have our strengths and weaknesses. You can give your strengths, 1, 2 strengths, weaknesses. Put the subheading weaknesses and mention 1 or 2. And remember that when you are mentioning your weaknesses, they should not show you in poor light. I'm lazy. That is no weakness at all. You may say I'm a stickler for detail. That is a weakness, due to which I am delayed in completing my work. That shows that you are a person who is a perfectionist, but you are delayed because of your nature. So that shows you as a person who works thoroughly but who is a little late. So that is a negative with a positive side. You must show your weaknesses as such. And you, just because I said that, you need not lie or exaggerate your achievements, because lies will be caught someday or the other. No need of exaggerating, just give the facts. Each person has some special strength or special talent, and everybody has some weakness. Just try to show your weakness as not much of a weakness. That's all I would like to suggest. Okay. Next, we go to the personal profile. You can name that part as the personal profile or personal information. In this, you should give your name in detail. So, Madala Aishwarya. M. Aishwarya, I said right. So, Madala Aishwarya, date of birth 8/9, 2005, gender female. There are boys who name themselves as Aishwarya also. So, that is why there is a need for you to mention your gender. Then there is father's name. Give your father's name, mother's name. Not much detail required about siblings and your father's occupation. Not necessary. Because I told you a resume should be one-page affair. Then give your address in brief. Your marital status. Marital status in some resumes is skipped, but in some resumes it is important. Because if you are being posted in some other place and you are married and you cannot move from that place, then that is a problem. Because of that, marital status is safe, whether you are married or still unmarried. You have to mention here, marital status. Languages known. If you have not mentioned the languages that you know in your special skills, here you can mention it. All the languages that you know. And in addition, you can also give your Aadhaar number. You have another telephone number that you can give. You can give your passport number to show that you have a valid passport with which you can travel anywhere in the world. So this is all about your personal information. Coming to the last part, this is called declaration. What is a declaration? To confirm that all the information given is true. So you will write as declaration, I hereby declare that the information given above is true to the best of my knowledge. And you end your resume with the station and the date with your signature on the right hand side of the page. I told you that I'll be giving you a detailed explanation about educational qualification. This is about it. For educational qualification, you give in the tabular form like this, where the course is mentioned, reverse chronological order. BSc, if you have done your PG, UG, intermediate and your 10th class. Name of the college along with the place that you studied in. V.S. Lakshmi Women's Degree College, Kakinada. Then board or university, Adi Kavi Nannaya University. For 10th class it will be which board? SSC board. Then in the year that you passed out, whether it is a percentage or a GPA, you have to mention GPA, you have to mention that here. For each course, how much of GPA or how much percentage you got, you have to write it. That is one way. The second format is, you can write it in the form of bullet points in this manner. Graduation completed bachelor's degree in maths or in computers or in physics in V.S. Lakshmi Women's Degree College, Kakinada, with a GPA of so and so in the year so and so. So that is mentioned in the form of a sentence. Then you go to intermediate and your schooling, where you completed your schooling. Declaration also I have written it in detail here. I hereby declare that the information given above is true to the best of my knowledge. And down under, yours sincerely, leave a little gap. Yours sincerely, sign, write your name in bold letters, and in the left side, on the left you can write the date and the station, Kakinada, and the date. So this is about a basic resume. Now what I want you to do is, I have given you the points and the order in which you have to write your resume. I want all of you, if possible that is, please write your resume and post it to my number. I would like to check on it. It is entirely up to you, but it would be a good thing, because if there is any correction or editing, I will let you. And in the group, I'll be posting a sample resume which you can go through. Okay, I hope you have understood.